The fight begins for Sister's life in the middle of a giant alien arena. A human stood alone. His name was Ray. Blood dripped from his knuckles. His face was bruised. But his eyes were sharp, full of pain, and full of purpose. He wasn't here for fame. He wasn't here for glory. He was here to save his little sister. Ray was just a normal young man from Earth. No special powers. No big muscles. Just a heart that refused to give up. His sister Lena was sick. Very sick. A rare disease was killing her. Doctors said she had only a few days left. The cure existed. But it was not cheap. It cost more than Ray could ever earn. In 10 years. So when he heard about the intergalactic fight tournament, he made a choice. He would risk everything. His body. His life. To win the prize. The tournament was not on Earth. It was held far away. On a planet called Kravagas, a place where rich aliens came to watch blood and battle. Humans were rare in this galaxy. And even rarer in the ring when Ray entered the arena. The crowd laughed. A human? Weak. He won't last 5 seconds. But Ray didn't care. He thought only of Lena lying in a hospital bed, smiling through the pain. "I'm fighting for you," he whispered. As the gate opened, a massive shadow stepped into the arena. His first opponent, a creature twice Ray's. Size, 4 arms, razor-sharp teeth. Skin like stone. The announcer screamed, "Let the deathmatch begin." The alien charged like a beast. Ray dodged left, barely escaping a deadly punch. He moved fast. He couldn't win by strength, but he could win by smart moves. The alien smashed the ground where Ray stood a moment ago. Dust flew up. The crowd roared. Ray jumped, kicked, punched. But the creature didn't even flinch. Ray was thrown against the wall, blood on his lips. His vision blurred. But he stood up again, not for the crowd. Not for pride, for Lena. Flashback. 1 week ago. Ray sat beside his sister. She was pale, but still joking. "Don't look so serious," she said. "I'm not dying yet." Ray tried to smile but couldn't. He promised her, "I'll find a way, I swear." She held his hand. "Don't do something stupid." He didn't answer. He had already decided. Back in the arena. The alien roared, charging again. Ray remembered his father's old words. Use your enemy's strength against them. He waited, then moved at the last second. The alien slammed into the metal wall with full force. The arena shook. Ray ran up its back, jumped, and punched the soft part behind its head. Once, twice, 3 times. The creature screamed. Ray didn't stop. He hit until the beast collapsed. The crowd went silent, then exploded in cheers. The human wins. Unbelievable. Ray fell to his knees, breathing hard. He had won. But the announcer walked toward him, smiling. "Congratulations, human," he said. "You moved to the final round." Ray looked up. "The prize, is it still mine?" The announcer laughed. "You'll see, 2 more fights. Each harder than the last." Ray's body was broken. But he kept going. Finally, the last match. This time, it wasn't just an alien. It was a champion. A monster known for killing fighters in seconds. The fight lasted 5 minutes. Ray dodged death more than 10 times. He used every trick, every breath, and finally, with one last scream, he won. After the battle, Ray stood in front of the tournament master. He was tired, but his eyes were burning with hope. "I want the prize," he said. "Give it to me. I have no time." The master nodded. "Come," he said, leading Ray down a dark hallway. A metal door opened. Inside was not money, not gold, not healing medicine. Inside was a cage, and in that cage was a girl, not human. She had glowing blue eyes, pale skin, thin arms. She looked weak, broken. "She's your prize," the master said. Ray stepped back. "What? I didn't fight for this." "She is rare," the master said. A high-value slave. You can sell her. Buy anything. Ray looked at her. She said nothing, only stared at him silently. He didn't understand. Why give him a living being? Why this girl? And then she moved. She raised her hand and pointed. Behind him on the wall was a small symbol, a map dot with a glowing red dot. Ray looked closer. Dot was Earth dot and the word beside it, target. The prize is alive. The cage was cold, dark, silent. Inside sat a strange girl. She didn't blink. She didn't speak. She just stared at Ray with glowing blue eyes. Ray didn't move. This wasn't what he fought for. He had risked everything. His body, his soul. He almost died to save his sister, and now they gave him a slave? The tournament master stood beside him, smiling proudly. She is yours, the master said. Rare species, very valuable. Ray's fists tightened. I didn't fight for this. I need money. My sister is dying. The master shrugged. Sell her. She will buy you more than enough. Ray looked at the girl again. She looked young. Her skin was pale like moonlight. Thin silver lines ran across her arms like circuits. Her clothes were torn. Her feet bare, but it was her eyes, her silent, knowing eyes that sent a chill through him. This was no ordinary alien. Ray was taken to a resting room. They gave him food, medicine, and time to heal. But he couldn't sleep. The girl sat quietly in the corner, watching him. She hadn't said a word. Not a sound. Ray tried to talk. Do you understand me? No reply. He offered food. She didn't move. He got frustrated. Why did they give me you? Still silence. But just before he turned away, she slowly reached down and began to draw in the dust on the floor. She drew a star map. Planets. Roots. Symbols. And in the center of it all, she circled one planet in red. Earth. Ray leaned forward. You know my world? The girl looked up, finally making eye contact, and for the first time, she spoke. Soft, broken, but clear. They are coming. Ray felt a cold wind in his chest. Who's coming? He asked. What do you mean? She looked away. Her hands trembled, and then she whispered, They took my world. They will take yours, unless you stop them. Ray stared at the map again. Every line she drew was perfect. This wasn't a random drawing. It was a real map of the galaxy. He had seen maps like this on alien data screens. She knew things. Too many things. Later that night, Ray took her to the science bay. The alien tech expert scanned her body. The results were shocking. She's not a slave, the scientist said. She's a living data core. Ancient tech. Lost race. Ray didn't understand. The scientist explained. Her brain holds information, military data, locations, warnings. But why give her to me? Ray asked. The scientist shrugged. Maybe someone wants her dead. Ray looked at her again. She didn't seem dangerous. She seemed afraid. Alone. Suddenly. Boom. The wall exploded. Gas filled the room. Alarms blared. A dark figure stepped through the smoke. A bounty hunter. 7 feet tall, armored, blaster in one hand, a chain whip in the other. His voice was deep and cold. Give me the girl, or die. Ray stood in front of her. No, she's under my protection. The hunter aimed. You don't understand. She's not what she looks like. Ray's eyes narrowed. Then tell me what she is. The hunter took a step closer. She is the last of her kind. The only one who knows the truth. She is the key to war. The girl suddenly raised her hand. A soft hum filled the room. Then a glowing energy shield surrounded both her and Ray. The bounty hunter fired. The shots bounced off. Ray looked at her in shock. You have powers? She whispered. Only to protect. Ray grabbed her hand. We have to run. They escaped. Into the night, lights flashing behind them, bounty hunters chasing from all directions. He didn't know who to trust. or where to go. But one thing was now clear. This girl wasn't the prize. She was the warning. And Earth was running out of time. Secrets in her eyes, the stars above, were silent. Ray stood at the edge of a metal cliff, high above the alien city. Behind him, lights flickered. Sirens echoed. Bounty hunters searched the streets below. Beside him stood the alien girl. Quiet, calm, eyes glowing. They had escaped. But now came the bigger question. Who was she? Ray had been in many battles. He had bled, broken bones, lost friends. But nothing had prepared him for this. Not for a girl who spoke of the future. Not for a map that showed Earth marked as a target. And not for the truth hidden deep in her eyes. They found an old hiding place, a ruined tech station buried under the city. Long forgotten. The door opened with a whisper. Dust fell from the ceiling. Strange machines lined the walls, all dark and dead. The girl walked in slowly. Her hand touched a panel. Suddenly, everything lit up. Lights flickered. Screens turned on. A soft hum filled the air. The machines had been waiting for her. Ray stared, shocked. Is this yours? He asked. She didn't answer. She walked to the center of the room and raised both hands. The ceiling opened, revealing a giant galactic map floating in the air. A red line appeared, moving from one planet to the next, and ending at Earth. Ray stepped back. No. This can't be real. The girl spoke softly. They're coming. They take one world, then another. They never stop. Ray looked at her. Who are you? She looked up. My name is Kaura. My people were called the Virelin. We lived in peace. We built knowledge, light, balance. Ray sat down, listening carefully. One day, Kaura said, ships came. From the dark, silent, empty, no faces, no mercy. They didn't ask questions. They just consumed. Ray frowned. What do they want? She shook her head. Not land, not power. They want life. They feed on intelligence, on voices, on minds. Ray felt a chill in his spine. She continued. My planet is gone. My family, my people, dust. She placed her hand on her chest. I was made to survive, to carry the warnings. My mind holds their secrets. Ray looked at the machines around them. Is this a weapon? She shook her head again. No, this is a message system. It sends warnings to systems nearby. But it hasn't worked in years. Ray stood up. Then we fix it. We send the message. We warn Earth. Kaura lowered her eyes. It's not that easy. The code to activate it was split. Half is in me. Half was taken. Ray's voice rose. Taken by who? She turned slowly. By someone who betrayed. U.S., an alien leader. He made a deal with the Dark Ones. In exchange for power. Ray clenched his fists. This is bigger than me. Bigger than my sister. He looked at Kaura. But if Earth is in danger, we have to stop them. Kaura looked down. There's more. She stepped closer. If we send the signal, my mind will burn. I was made to protect it. Once the code leaves, I may not survive. Ray froze. What do you mean, you'll die? She nodded. I am not human. I don't fear death. I fear being too late. Silence filled the room. Ray thought of his sister. Her voice, her laugh, her hand holding his. He also thought of Earth, his people, millions of lives. And Kaura, standing before him, willing to give up everything. But before he could speak, boom. The wall exploded again. They found them. A dark figure walked through the fire. Not the bounty hunter from before. This one wore armor made of black stone. His voice echoed with many voices at once. He pointed at Kaura. You should have died with your kind. Kaura stepped forward. And yet, here I am. The figure raised his hand. A strange energy formed. In the air, black, alive, hungry. Ray pulled out a stolen plasma blade. He stood between them. You want her? He said, Come through me. Run or fight. Fire burned behind them. Sparks rained from the ceiling. The shadow of death stepped closer. Ray gripped the plasma blade with both hands. His arms were shaking, his heart racing, not from fear, but because he knew if they failed now, Earth would fall next. The creature stepped into the light. It wasn't fully alive. Its eyes glowed red, but there was no soul in them. Ray whispered to Kelra, "What is that thing?" She answered, voice steady, "It's a shade, a weapon made from stolen minds. Half machine, half memory." Ray gritted his teeth. "How do we stop it?" Kelra's voice was quiet. "You don't, you run." The shade raised its hand. A black bolt of energy shot toward them. Ray pushed Kelra down. The blast hit the wall behind them, melting metal like butter. Ray grabbed her wrist. "Move!" They ran through the ruins, twisting halls, falling beams, exploding wires. Behind them, the shade followed, slow, calm, like it had all the time in the world. They reached a lift. Broken. Ray slammed his fist on the controls. "No." "Power." Kelra stepped forward, placed her hand on the panel. Her skin glowed. The machine responded. The lift hummed to life. But as it rose, a second shade dropped onto the roof, claws digging into the metal. Kelra's eyes widened. They sent more. Ray made a choice. He climbed onto the roof of the lift and faced the monster. The wind rushed past him. The alien city below looked like a maze of steel. The shade lunged. Ray dodged left, barely keeping balance. He swung his blade. Sparks flew. The shade staggered. But not enough. They fought above death. One slip, and Ray would fall hundreds of feet. Inside the lift, Kelra stared upward. She whispered something in her language. Her fingers moved fast across the control pad. Suddenly, the lift jerked to a stop, throwing the shade off balance. Ray struck with all his strength. The blade cut deep. The shade screamed, a sound not meant for ears. It fell into the darkness below. Ray climbed back inside, panting, bruised. Kelra looked at him. Her face, usually calm, showed fear. "You could have died," she said. Ray smiled. "So could you." They looked at each other for a long moment. Then the lift reached the top. They escaped into the slums of the city. Alien streets, crowds, neon lights, the smell of smoke and oil. They hid inside a small repair shop, run by a robot named Hex9, an old friend of Ray's. Ray patched up his wounds. Kelra sat silently, staring at her hands. She finally spoke. "When I was created, I was told to never trust humans." Ray looked up. "Why?" "Because humans are wild, unpredictable, dangerous." She paused. "But today, you protected me more than once." Ray laughed softly. "Yeah, well, I'm new to this alien trust thing too." Kelra looked into his eyes. "Why did you save me?" Ray didn't answer right away. He thought of Lena, her tiny hands, her voice on that last call, her saying, "I believe in you." He looked back at Kelra. "Because I've already lost too much. I'm not losing again." Kelra lowered her head. Then, slowly, she reached into a hidden pocket in her clothes. She pulled out a small glowing crystal. "What is that?" Ray asked. Kelra replied, "It's a memory core. The other half of the code, the one I said was lost." Ray's eyes widened. "You had it all along?" Kelra nodded. "But I needed to know if you were worth it." Ray stepped back. "So, this was a test?" Kelra shook her head. "No, it was hope. I needed to believe that humans were more than just fighters." She handed him the crystal. Ray took it gently. "It was warm. Alive. Kelra said, "With this, we can send a warning. But once it's done, there's no hiding. They will come for us." Ray tightened his grip. "Let them come." Suddenly, the screen in the corner of the shop blinked. An urgent broadcast from Earth. Ray turned up the volume. A hospital news anchor was speaking. Earth hospitals hit by strange cyber attacks, life support units failing worldwide. One of the first victims, Lina Cade, age 8, Ray's blood went cold. His sister, Kelra, looked at him. We have to go. Ray stared at the screen. Tears in his eyes. He whispered, hold on, Lina, I'm coming. Truth about the girl. Rain fell across the rooftop, not water, but silver rain, thin drops of liquid metal, falling from the sky of this broken alien city. Ray stood alone. The glowing crystal Kelra gave him pulsed in his hand, like it was alive, like it had a heartbeat. Behind him, Kelra watched silently. Her eyes, usually calm, were now full of something new. Fear. They had one chance. One signal. If they used the memory core, it would send a warning. Across the galaxy, a signal Earth could receive. A message to prepare. But once they did it, they would be found, hunted. And worse. The power inside the crystal came from Kelra herself. Using it would mean breaking the lock inside her mind. And that meant she might not survive. Ray stared at the sky. He thought of Lina. Her voice, cracking with pain. Her last message, you don't have to be a hero, just come back. Now he had to choose. Save the world. Or save his sister. Kelra stepped forward. I see it in your eyes, she said. You want to run, to get the money, go to Earth, save her. Ray didn't respond. She placed a hand on his shoulder. Maybe. That's the right choice. Ray turned sharply. Don't do that. Don't pretend this is simple. Kelra looked away. I am not pretending. I was made for one purpose, to deliver this warning. If that means dying, then I do what I was created for. Ray's fists tightened. No, you're not just a machine. You feel things, you think. You saved me. She smiled. And you changed me. Suddenly, the rooftop screen blinked on. A live message from Earth's orbit. A massive ship had entered the solar system. No communication, no signals. Just silence. And shadows. Ray's heart dropped. The invasion had begun. Below them, Hex 9, the old robot friend, called out. The signal pad is ready. Once you connect her, it's done. The message will launch across 100 systems. Ray looked at the glowing port. Then back at Kelra. I can't lose you, he said. Kelra stepped closer. If you don't do this, you'll lose everything. She placed her hand on his chest. You have always been fighting for someone you love. So have I. My people may be gone, but their hope lives in me. A single tear slid down her cheek. And now, in you. Ray breathed deeply. He walked toward the signal pad. Slowly, he placed the memory core inside. The system lit up, red, then blue, then white. A pulse moved through Kelra's body. She cried out, not in pain, but like a song trapped inside her was finally escaping. Machines began to spin. Energy surged. The message fired into space. A beam of light racing toward Earth. Ray watched the sky, his fingers shaking. He turned to Kelra. She had collapsed. Her body was still. He rushed to her side. Kelra, stay with me. Her eyes opened slightly, flickering. I did it, didn't I? She whispered. Ray nodded. His voice broke. You did. Kelra smiled weakly. Then your sister. She live. Ray held her hand. She live. Because of you. Suddenly, the building shook. Explosions in the sky. Hex 9 shouted. They're here. The invaders found the signal. Kelra's eyes turned bright again. Just for a moment. She whispered. Run. Ray looked at her. I'm not leaving you. She squeezed his hand. Then fight. The camera pulls back. The enemy ships enter the sky like shadows with wings. Ray stands at the edge of the rooftop, a weapon in his hand. Rage and love in his heart. Behind him, a girl who was never meant to live, but chose to save a world she never saw. Ray didn't fight for money anymore. He was fighting for everything. The arena again. This time for all the arena gates opened once more, but this time, Ray didn't walk in as a fighter. He walked in as a messenger. Thousands of aliens filled the stands. Creatures from every corner of the galaxy. They came for entertainment, for blood, for the sound of battle. But what they saw was a human with scars, with fire in his eyes, and a silent message on his back. Your silence will end you. Ray stood in the center of the arena, the same place he nearly died, the same place where he was treated like an animal. Now the entire galaxy watched. He looked up at the rulers in their golden seats, alien leaders, war brokers, tech lords. Silent and comfortable, he took the mic and he spoke. I came here for money, he said, to save my sister, to fight and win. That's what you wanted, a good show. The crowd was quiet, but what I found, he said, raising his voice, was the truth. A truth you're all ignoring. He pulled out Kelra's crystal core, the one she nearly died to activate. The stadium screens lit up. Images appeared, planets burning, ships made of darkness swallowing moons. A red dot blinking near Earth. The crowd gasped. Ray shouted, they're coming for all of us, not just humans. Not just Earth. You think hiding behind power will save you? He pointed at the rulers. You're next. Silence. Then laughter. The tournament announcer walked into the arena clapping slowly. Always drama with humans, he said. But this isn't a speech stage. This is the fight pit. He turned to the crowd. What do you say, my friends? Let the human prove his words. With one final fight. The crowd roared. A gate opened. A new challenger entered, tall, silent, wearing black armor. Ray knew that armor. It belonged to the species who destroyed Kelra's world. The crowd didn't cheer. Now they watched in quiet fear. They felt it. This wasn't a fighter. This was a warning. Ray took a deep breath. He whispered, this one's for you, Kelra. He charged. The battle was brutal. Ray dodged death with every move. He wasn't faster. He wasn't stronger. But he was human. And that meant something. He used everything he had learned. Not from training. But from pain. From love. From loss. The enemy slammed him to the ground. Blood poured from his mouth. The crowd stood in silence. Ray tried to rise. His arms shook. His legs failed. Then, a glow appeared in the sky above the arena. A signal. The one Kelra had sent. It was being received. By thousands of systems, including Earth. Ray looked up. And he smiled, even if he died now. The message was out. He stood. Slow, broken, but proud. And he fought back. The battle turned. Ray landed a hit, straight into the enemy's power core. The creature fell. Its black armor cracked. Its body disintegrated into dust. The arena was silent. Then cheers erupted, not for blood, but for truth. The announcer stared, unsure whether to speak. Ray grabbed the mic one more time. You still think this is a game? He said, breathing hard. They are coming. This was just a scout. If you don't stand together, there won't be another arena to cheer in. He looked around. At thousands of species, thousands of faces. Help us. Stand with Earth, or prepare to fall alone. And then he collapsed. His body gave out. Later, in a dark med bay, Kelra opened her eyes. Her voice was faint. Did he do it? A voice answered. Yes, he changed everything. She was never the prize. Darkness. Cold. Ray opened his eyes in a med bay, machines humming around him. His body hurt, his bones ached. But he was alive. Barely. He looked around, confused. Where? A soft voice answered. Safe, for now. Kelra. She stood beside his bed, weak but awake. Her glow had faded. The patterns on her arms were dim. She looked human. Ray tried to sit up. Did it work? He asked. Kelra nodded slowly. Yes, you spoke. They listened. Some planets are sending ships to Earth already. Others are still thinking. Ray smirked. Of course they are. Thinking while the fire is already at the door. Kelra didn't laugh. Instead, she walked to a screen and pressed a button. It showed a massive star map. And a signal blinking red near Earth. Kelra said quietly, "The final wave is on its way." Ray's face turned pale. "Then we didn't stop them?" Kelra turned around. "No, but we slowed them. We showed them that humans don't run." She stepped closer, and more importantly, we gave them something they haven't seen in thousands of years. Ray frowned. "What?" She placed a hand over his heart. "A reason to hope." He looked at her. "Why me, Kelra? Out of everyone in the galaxy, why give the message to me?" She stared into his eyes, and then she finally told the truth. "I was never the prize. I was the watcher." Ray was silent. She continued. "Long ago, my people created a program, a test, to search for a species, not with the best weapons, not with the strongest warriors, but with the strongest will." Ray listened closely. "My mind held the test. My body carried the key. I was to observe, to suffer, to be silent, and see who would fight for me without needing to own me." Ray whispered, "So I was the test?" Kelra smiled softly. "No, your kindness was." Outside the ship, sirens began to sound. The final wave had arrived. A dark fleet, large enough to block the stars. Ray stood, weak, but ready. Kelra looked at him. "This is your last choice, Ray. You can run, save yourself, or stay and lead the resistance." Ray didn't hesitate. "I stay." Down below, Earth prepared for war. But this time, they weren't alone. Alien ships, once enemies, now allies, joined them in orbit, and in the center of the command bridge stood a human fighter and an alien girl. Both survivors, both changed, both broken and reborn. Kelra's systems began to fail. The power she gave to the message, it was killing her slowly. Ray saw it. He rushed to her side. No, stay with me." She smiled faintly. "I was never meant to last this long." Ray's eyes filled with tears. "You're more than code. You're more than a machine." Kelra took his hand. "And you're more than a fighter." Suddenly, a blinding light outside. The first enemy cruiser was entering Earth skies. Ray stood up straight. "No more running." He put on his armor, took his blade, and turned to Kelra. "Let's finish what we started." The final battle began. Ships clashed. Skies burned. Earth fought back, and at the heart of it all, a human who had once fought for cash now stood for all of humanity. Epilogue. Weeks later, the skies were quiet again. The dark fleet, gone, broken, forced back into the void. Earth had survived, not because of technology, not because of numbers, but because of one voice, one choice, one fighter who reminded the galaxy, being human doesn't mean being perfect. It means refusing to stop trying. Ray returned home. His sister Lena ran into his arms, alive, smiling. He knelt down, crying into her shoulder. "You kept your promise," she said. Ray smiled, broken but proud. "I brought the universe with me." And as the stars shined above, somewhere deep in space, an ancient system lit up again. The last words from the test echoed into the void. "Humanity has passed.